This is my audience, Dad and Mom. Mom and Dad. Albert Einstein once said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited to all we know and understand, while imagination embraces the entire world and all there ever be to learn and understand." Optimism and imagination are quite similar. There is a fine line between optimism and reality, but I believe being optimistic is more beneficial than being realistic. What you dream up in your mind for the future and what you think is often more helpful than reality. I understand why people could think differently. People might think, "Oh, you're just a lazy daydreamer that dreaming of a better life for yourself." However, this couldn't be more wrong. I'm sure all you know who Elon Musk is, who started multiple companies such as X.com, which later became PayPal in 1999, SpaceX in 2002, and Tesla Motors in 2003. Elon Musk is what I think of when I think of a person that is optimistic. He once said, "There's a tremendous bias against taking risks. Everybody is trying to optimize their ass covering." SpaceX, a huge risk for Elon, is a private American aerospace manufacturer and space transportation company. Basically, they make rockets, satellites, and other things that are used in space. You might think this sounds like NASA, which it does. However, SpaceX is privately funded, whereas NASA is federally funded, making it a bigger risk for Elon. SpaceX has recently created a rocket called the Starship Super Heavy. This is a spaceship composed of two parts, a rocket booster and then a storage area. The rocket is called the Super Heavy rocket, and the spaceship is called the Starship. The goal of this rocket is to transport people, cargo, and other things to different planets in the solar system. SpaceX's goal is to send their first mission to Mars in 2022. This mission will all be about confirming water sources, identifying possible threats, and to put in place initial power, mining, and life support systems. If Elon Musk or whoever had the first idea of the rocket hadn't been optimistic that what he was doing would work, and just had been sitting around in his house thinking about what could go wrong with his idea, we would be much, much further away from sending missions to Mars. Without optimism and imagination, we wouldn't even have rockets to go to space. For that matter, we wouldn't even have planes, cars, or many other important inventions. Optimism breeds innovation. Many of our modern-day designs come from a wide variety of creatures from nature. As humans, we are constantly imagining new and innovative ways to improve our way of living. We often look to nature to help us design new products and ideas. One example of this is the woodpecker. The woodpecker uses its beak to pick at trees at very high speeds for food. The woodpecker experiences around 1,500 G-force units, or Gs. To put that in comparison, a typical roller coaster, you only experience around 5 Gs, and in a severe car crash, you only experience about 120 Gs. The key to the woodpecker is becoming not injured is how they disperse the energy. 99.7% of the energy is dispersed throughout the body, and the 0.3% goes to the head, which is converted into heat. This is why they have to take breaks in between pecking so that they don't overheat. Engineers understanding how the woodpecker absorbs shock can help us innovate cars, helmets, and collisions all around. Scientists are optimistic that they can use the vast amount of technology from nature and modern-day designs to improve the lives of everybody involved. Imagination, more often than not, is more beneficial for us humans than living in reality. There is a fine line between optimism and reality, but I believe being optimistic is more beneficial. So the next time you hear a rocket taking off into space, or see a woodpecker getting its next meal, remember that we have learned an immense amount of knowledge just because we thought that could work.